There's a lot to learn before taking off, but the city says the company launched in Louisville too soon. An electric scooter topping 15 miles per hour has a lot of kick. When I gave it a try, I made sure to wear a helmet. The rental company Bird says it's a requirement for riders. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I'm going too fast. You also have to scan your license into the app. Obey the traffic laws is one of the requirements to ride these scooters, so you should stop at a stop sign. Despite the numerous regulations, other cities have ordered Bird to stop business.
I've heard that there's been issues with where they've been parked and where they've been left.
Frank Moschetto owns Pedigo, an electric bike shop.
Electric is the future of transportation.
He sees the concerns with the dockless rental system. Once you're done riding, there isn't a designated return spot. So you can just leave them on the sidewalk here, and you hit the lock button on the app when you're all set. The city of Louisville says they were working with Bird to establish safety guidelines.
Because nothing worse than pulling up to park somewhere and having a scooter sit in front of you.
City representatives have not said if they'll stop Bird from operating. Moschetto hopes not. He says other Pedigo chains around the country have benefited from the electric scooter rentals.
Because people get a taste of electric transportation.
And just as fast as you can start the ride, it comes to an end with a simple tap of a screen. The scooters are only used during the day. Employees clear the sidewalks at sunset and charge the scooters overnight. This job is open and you can apply on the Bird app. In the studio, Andreina Centlivre, Wave 3 News.
I would stop and talk. I'm in a rush.
This woman rushes to catch the bus with groceries in hand. For Tamara Baker, who lives near the Kroger in Old Louisville, this is about to become her routine.
I don't know how we're going to do our grocery shopping now without us having a vehicle, because it was easy just to walk over here to Kroger's.
Tamara is considering the Kroger on 2nd Street near Central Avenue. The TARC Route 4 bus stop is near her home, but with a baby to carry, she wonders how long the new commute will be. We hopped on the bus stop at 12:27 and headed out to see just how long it would take. On the bus, there were some upset about the Old Louisville Kroger closing.
It's hard on everybody, but for people who've got money to drive and can go do things, it's okay for them.
A one-way ride was 16 minutes. Thank you. James Ford also got off at the stop at 3rd and Central Avenue. It's 12:43. I rushed inside to do some quick grocery shopping. All right, ready with my groceries to catch a returning bus at 104. This is a really light load compared to what a lot of other families probably take on. On our way back to 4th and Breckenridge, others could be spotted on the bus carrying a heavier load. Stepping off at the bus with groceries, the total trip was 57 minutes. Now people like Tamara are going to have to make a decision for their new grocery routine.
I still get nervous about it every day, trying to figure out what is my next move in the time frame to be able to get there and get back and just function off of everyday living.
Bulls no longer screen for scoliosis. The condition is caught in later stages, making surgery the only solution. I talked to a scoliosis patient and her family who said the whole process was completely overwhelming. From her ease on the softball field, you could never tell Reagan Herndon has 18 screws and 2 rods in her back. 2 years ago, she had scoliosis surgery after being diagnosed with the condition in preschool.
It was definitely scary. I thought I was going to be out of sports for a while.
Reagan's parents say that her scoliosis is a cautionary tale.
It's very important to do it because it can cripple your child if you don't know soon enough.
It's so critical to identify scoliosis early in children because the sooner we treat the curves, the better the treatment results.
Dr. John Dymar with the Norton Leatherman Spine Center says scoliosis surgeries in Louisville are on the rise. Dymar believes part of the reason is federal funding being cut from school screenings.
It's a deformity that really doesn't cause any pain, so people don't really look for it. It doesn't come to a lot of people's attention.
Dymar says early screenings can result in less invasive treatments like a brace.
Kids eventually began to understand as I explained every day about it.
Reagan wore a brace, but her case of scoliosis was so severe, surgery was the only option.
5 hours of your kid being put under and knowing they're having all this hardware put into their back.
Jenny Herndon says if an extra trip to the doctor can avoid surgery, it's worth it. It took Reagan 6 months to recover, and her parents couldn't be prouder.
It's crazy to see where I am now versus where I could still be at.
Reagan now plays for a travel team and has college softball on her mind. Dr. Dimer says if you're getting your child checked out before they head back to school, it's a perfect time to screen for scoliosis. Thousands of undocumented families here in the city of Louisville. An immigration advocacy group says that this ordinance would alleviate fear and help strengthen relationships with local law enforcement. But those against the ordinance say that the effort should be focused at the federal level. In Louisville, a decision will be made on how public safety officials interact with undocumented immigrants.
This is not just something that happened, overnight. We've been talking to politicians since February.
Jesus Ibanez is a law student at U of L. He, along with Mihende, an immigration advocacy group, have attended countless Metro Council meetings. Ibanez says video of LMPD officers assisting ICE agents amplifies the fear of police.
Are they failing to report the crime and living in their own personal hell?
And what we're hearing is a lack of trust between a big part of our community and the police.
Councilman Brandon Cohen was the lead author of the ordinance that bars all city employees, including police, from enforcing federal immigration law.
And in fact, we should be working together and spending our energies to actually go to the federal government and demand immigration reform at the federal level.
Councilwoman Angela Leet says she will be voting against the ordinance. She feels the ordinance is unnecessary and could compromise relationships between local and federal law enforcement.
In no way does this ordinance make Louisville a safe harbor for criminals.
Under the ordinance, public safety officials can only assist ICE with a warrant signed by a judge or if ICE communicates a clear danger to the public. Ibanez says as a child of immigrants, the ordinance is not enough to be considered sanctuary, but it's a big step.
But there's people who are willing to sacrifice their lives, everything, just for a little small portion of a fleeting American dream.
The majority vote will decide whether this ordinance is passed or not, and many are expected to attend the public council meeting. Reporting in Louisville, Andreina Centlivre, Wave 3 News.